we're going to be using to make our Kitten applications is Zoho Forms. They do have a free version of Zoho Forms that is perfectly fine for you to create your application. And they also have upgraded pricing plans that allow you to do more things. And I'll tell you some of those things. You can redirect your application thank you page to your website. You can add your logo to your form. You can integrate the form answers into other applications or into a Google document. So there's lots of things that you can do if you upgrade, and it's only $10 a month if you do the basic pricing plan, but you certainly do not have to. You can use the free version until you decide that you want to upgrade. So you can go ahead and create your account on Zoho Forms. You do that by going to sign in, and then down here it says don't have a Zoho account, sign up now. And then you just sign up and create your account. Now once you're in, we're going to create a new form, and we're just going to do a standard form. We're going to call our form Kitten Application, and I'll show you how to create. Now, one thing I love about Zoho Forms is the drag and drop field feature. That's one of the easiest things about this. All you have to really get familiar with is the type of field that you want to use in your application. And there's really no right or wrong answer. You can format it and design it any way that you want to. It's your application. Before you begin building your application and you come in here to your form builder, it's a good idea to have all of the questions written down that you want to ask on your Kitten app. Now, I will say, I've discovered that the more questions that you ask, the more appreciative the buyers are. They like to know that you are pre-screening and doing a good job selecting homes for your kittens. And I definitely believe that you should ask as many questions as you want to or that you can think of in this application. The buyers will fill it out. They don't have a problem with it, and they actually respect your choice to ask as many questions as you want to. So have all of your questions that you want to ask on your app written down. This is a perfect way to pre-screen people and get through some of those questions that maybe you get tired of asking or that comes up later and you wish you would have known right in the beginning, to save yourself from wasting a lot of time. So let's get to this. The contact fields are very easy. We're just going to drag name, we're going to drag address, we're going to drag phone number, we're going to drag email over. See how easy that was? Bam, we already have those fields. We don't have to do any formatting. Very simple, right? Now, any field after that, you're going to have to format specifically for the question you want to ask. And I'm going to show you 3 different field types that you're going to use the most in your application. The first is going to be a drop-down field. So let's drag that over here. Now, you're going to have to click on each one of the fields. If it's not a contact field, then you have to actually format it. So you click on it, and the field label is the question that is going to show on your application. So we're using a drop-down field in this, which means you click the little arrow like this one, and it gives you options that they can choose one answer on. So I'm going to name this field, what gender do you prefer? Because that is a good drop-down question. And then we can enter the choices down here in the choice list. So I've entered male, female, and no preference, because those are basically the only options that they can choose from on a gender. Now I can scroll down and make this question mandatory. You can make every question mandatory, or you can only make some of them mandatory. It's up to you. It's your application. Now I'm going to click Save, and now you can see that question appears in our application form. Now when we look at the live view, I'll show you that you can drop down and actually select one. So that's the drop down field. The next one we'll do is a single line field. So a single line field is limited on the number of characters that the applicant can enter into this field. We have to click on it and edit it, because if not, this single line is what's going to show up on your application form, and they're not going to know what to do with that. So we click on it, and in the field label, we're going to ask the question. As an example, let's use, what is your age? You don't have to ask this question. This is just an example of a good use of a single line field, because there's a maximum character limit of 255 on a single line field. So if it's going to be a very short answer, then single line is going to be better. And then we can save it. And now you see, what is your age? These little red asterisks mean that it's a mandatory field. The applicant could not submit this without answering these, and it will prompt them to go back and answer them. Then we have a multi-line field. We'll use that here. Again, we have to edit it, so we'll click on it. And this is, you can see the maximum amount of characters here is 65,000 plus. This is going to be a field where they actually have to elaborate on something and answer a little more lengthy than just 255 characters, which isn't that much. So let's say, why do you want a ragdoll kitten? This is just an example of something that they may have to elaborate more than 255 characters on. The question can be anything that you want it to be. Then we choose mandatory if you want them to answer it. If it's optional, then you don't have to check this box. But I have found if you don't make fields mandatory, people will skip them and not answer them. So all of mine are mandatory. So now we have a drop-down menu, a single line field, and a multi-line field. Those are basically the three main field types that you're going to use. There are certainly all of these other fields that you can use in your application. And you can click on them and see what they are and see if you want to use them. Then you have advanced fields also. Some of these are premium only, so you're not going to be able to use them unless you've upgraded your account. So these are basically how to do your fields. Now if we go to, and remember, you can ask as many questions as you want. So if you want 20 drop-down questions, you can certainly do it. You just grab drop-down again and you add it to wherever you want. Just be sure to change your field label type, add your options here. You can add more options. You can see there's no limit on the number of drop-down choices here. Same thing with any of these fields. So let's go over to settings. And let's go to thank you page and redirection. So this is what they will see whenever they submit their application. They're done with all of the questions and they submit it to you. If you upgrade to the basic, then you can redirect to your website. So maybe you send them to a page that has information about kittens or upcoming litters or wherever you want to send them. You can do that with the upgraded plan. Or if not, then you have to choose the thank you page that is built in here, which will just kind of redirect them to a thank you message. It's branded with the Zoho logo, so they'll see that, which is not really a big deal. And then you can type a 100 character response here in this box, and that's what they will see when they get to this thank you page. The splash message is just, it'll pop up a little, just a little pop-up message when they submit the application. So a couple of different things here. A lot of these options, you can just go through them. You don't really need to change a lot of this. Is advanced stuff. So this form can get really fancy and start doing a lot of, functions and tasks. However, most of that is going to be in the premium or the basic, an upgraded version of Zoho Forms. If we go to themes, this is where you can choose your color theme, and you're kind of limited in the free version, but you can see these are all of the options that you have with free. And if you want to upgrade and start customizing them to branded colors and adding your logo up in the top here, then you have to upgrade to basic. But let's just choose this for, I don't know, for funsies. And you can customize the form here with some, let's see, I don't think we can change the image unless it is premium. Let's take this image out and upload a new image. Yeah, you can. Looks like you can. Okay. So you can actually do some changes to the form in the free version. I'm just going to restore mine back to the flowers. Oh, it didn't do that. Okay. Okay, now it did. Let's go to the default theme. All right, I'm going back to this. Sorry, that was a lot of clicking around. Okay. And then if you want to get the link to your application, you have to verify your email first. So when you set up your account, it'll send you an email and ask you to verify that email address. You have to do that before you're able to get the link. And then you click on share, and it'll give you a little shareable link. You can add that link to your website, or you can just share the form link right in your social media account. Now, if we have a look at, this is what the actual form is going to look like. So you can see, you can actually, if you call this your Cattery name application, then that's what's going to show up here. I just used a standard generalized name for this video, but you can certainly put Kitten application for your Cattery name so that it's a little more personalized. You just can't add any logos on the free version. And then you can see this is what the application looks like. Here's our drop down. They can choose. Here's your short line field and your multi-line, and then another drop down we added. Here's what happens if you don't customize the field. It's just going to say this, and it's going to look strange. So make sure if you add a field that you edit it and customize it to have your question. And if you change your mind and you don't want that type of field, just make sure you delete it. I'll show you how to do that. We'll go back to the builder. And this field is on the application, but I don't want it there because I never customized it. I changed my mind. We just hover over it and select the delete, and it will get rid of that field. It saves automatically, so you don't ever have to save your form. It saves it as you make changes to it. So remember, if you are ready to get the link, you have to go verify your email, and then the link will show up here, and you'll see the link, the shareable link. That is where make sure you use that link to share the form. Don't use the link up here that's like preview the form. Don't use that, or access form. That is not going to show up. Make sure you go to share and then get the link that is showing up there. That's the one that you're going to use on your website or your social media account.